Okay, hello everyone, guys. How are you all? Welcome. I welcome you all in today's session. So, today is the class 7 for the most important and sure short topic of IE IFS. And in this class, I'm just going to tell you the most important points related to the theories of interest. So, everyone who is watching this video, kindly please like and share the video to the maximum you can. And if you haven't subscribed this channel yet, is a request guys that please subscribe this channel and press the bell notification icon. So let's start with this theories of interest topic. This is a very important topic. You can get question from the theories of interest, right? So let's talk about this. First of all, the classical theory of the interest. Classical theory of interest, it is also known as demand and supply theory. Okay, it is given by different economists like Marshall, Fisher, and Pigot. When we are talking about this theory of interest, classical theory of interest defined interest as a real phenomena. Just you have to understand that according to Marshall and Fisher and Pigot, rate of interest is actually a real phenomena which we get from the equilibrium position of the demand of saving and the supply of saving. So there are two terms very important here: demand for saving and supply of saving. What is the demand of saving? Like, we are the normal people, we are earning income, we are saving something from our income, right? So that saved portion from our income is actually what is actually considered as the supply of savings. So because we are ready to invest that in the different scenario or different investment option. Whereas if we talk about the demand of saving, right? So demand of saving is what? Demand of saving is actually the savings, or if actually the investments demand which are raised by the corporates and firms and corporation, etc. So there are different corporates and firms and corporation who are demanding, right? They are demanding what? They are demanding investments from the people so that they can just start their earnings and new ventures, etc. So there is a demand from saving from that side, corporations and firms, and there are the supply of saving from we normal people. So when these demand of saving and supply of saving meet, the rate of interest is there. So you can say the interest is a price that is paid for the supply of saving for meeting the demand of the saving. And in this, you have to understand classical theory of interest. It is also known as demand and supply theory. It is also known as capital theory of interest. It is also known as saving investments theory of interest, and it is also known as real theory of interest. And according to these economists, if we talk about the classical theory of interest, it is considered as the real phenomena. Clear? Now, next thing, when we are talking about the classical theory of interest, yes, there are criticism for this classical theory of interest. Now, what are the criticism that are actually for the classical theory of interest? So when we are talking about the Keynes define interest as a monetary phenomena. Keynes says that interest is not given for your saving. Interest is actually given when you part away from your saving. And Keynes also says that interest, or when we are talking about the savings and investment, they are rarely interest elastic. They are more dependent upon your future expectations from that particular, or the capital efficiency of that particular thing, right? So when we are talking about the classical theory of interest criticism is given by the Keynes, because the Keynes says that it is the monetary phenomena rather than the real phenomena, right? Very important, the classical theory of interest and the criticism to the classical theory of interest that has been given by John Maynard Keynes, right? Now, there is a John Maynard Keynes liquidity preference theory of interest. So there was a very famous book which has been written by J.M. Keynes. That book's name was General Theory of Employment, Interest and Money. So this was actually the book which has been written by J.M. Keynes, and this book actually defines So, according to this book, the Keynes defined that the rate of interest is a monetary phenomena and it is determined by the demand of money and the supply of money. And this is also known as liquidity preference theory. Now, here there is a very important concept that has been given by the Keynes, and the concept and the theorem is the rate of interest and the bond price are always inversely related. Means, see, when we are talking about the bond, three things are very important for the bonds, right? First, the face value, the price we are paying for purchasing of the bond. Second, the maturity time period, for what time period we are purchasing the bond. Third, there is a coupon rate. Coupon rate is actually the fixed rate of interest you are getting, or the fixed income you are getting from that bond. So if you are holding bond till maturity, each year you are getting a fixed rate of return, which is known as coupon rate, and there is a market interest rate. What is the market interest rate? It is the overall return. Market interest rate is actually the overall return from a bond. Okay, so when we are taking the overall return from a bond, that is known as the market interest rate, right? Now, when we are talking about the bonds, when we are seeing the bonds and when we are talking about the bonds, yes, the bonds, the value and the decision whether we have to invest in a bond or not, it is dependent upon these all factors, right? Now, when we are talking about the main theorem, the main theorem says that when the market interest rate increases, the bond price decreases and vice versa. How? See, for example, there is a bond option A available in the market, which is giving you a coupon rate of 5% per annum, right? Now, the market interest rate, for example, there is a new bond scheme which has been introduced, and for that, the market interest rate is actually introduced to 6%. Means the market interest rate is what? Or raised, okay? Now, when there is a high market interest rate, means this new bond will give you more return than the older version of bond. Then you all customer, when you want to invest in a bond, so obviously you will attract it towards more this scheme, because this is giving you a high rate of interest, right? In comparison to this. Okay, so it is said that when this become more attractive for the investor, so the old bond issuer does what? They just reduce the market price of the bond to make the older version of bond equally competitive. So now you have two options. If you are purchasing this bond, you have to pay less, you will earn less. If you are purchasing the new bond, you have to pay more, you are earning more, right? So these two then are equally competitive with each other. So as the market interest rate rises, the bond price is reduced. Why? To make that older version equally competitive for the investors, right? Now, let's talk about the inverse thing. For example, the market interest rate has been introduced and now the new version of the bond is giving you 4% per annum return, or 4% overall return. Now it is giving you lesser return. So when you are coming and you are seeing two bond option, the older version is giving you a higher return, the newer version is giving you a lower return. So obviously you will attract it towards more the older version. So the older version demand rises, and when the demand rises, obviously the market price will increase. So as the interest rate decrease, you will see the market price will increase. At the interest rate increase, the market price will decrease. So always remember, this is a very important theorem, that the rate of interest and bond price are inversely related to each other. Okay. Now, shift in the money demand curve. Now, when we are talking about the money demand curve, first of all, the money demand curve shows the relationship between the rate of interest and the quantity of money. So, you know that when the rate of interest rises, the opportunity cost of holding the money actually rises, right? And when the rate of interest rises, people will hold less money with themselves, obviously. Why people will hold less money with themselves? Because they want to invest more. Because when there are different market options available for us, and when the market options are giving you better returns, so do you don't want to hold anything for in as a cash in yourself, because in this way you lose the chances of earning a high return from that particular thing. So when the rate of interest rises, you will see the quantity of money, the quantity of holding money with the public reduces. So there is an inverse relationship for that. Okay. So as the rate of interest rises, the quantity of money decreases. At the rate of interest decreases, quantity money increases, decreases, increases, decreases, increases. Right? Now, why people are holding less money? Because they want to invest more. So when they are investing more, the LP curve should shift to the right, right? So this is shown in this figure. So there is an inverse relationship between the rate of interest and the quantity of money, because the people want to invest more, and that's why the LP curve shifts to what? Shifts to right. Clear? Now, the very important things now here, you just have to understand this important thing. I'm not going to explain each and every curve in detail. Why? Because we have given already you the details of every chapter in that whole series, right? So now we have to just learn the most important thing. So Hick-Hazen synthesis theorem. In this, you will see that there are three steps. So when we are using the classical theory of rate of interest, it actually gives the investment saving curve. When we are using the Keynes theory, we are getting the LM, liquidity preference money supply curve. And when these are combined, then the final Hick-Hazen synthesis model will be completed. So always remember, when the question is asked, when we are using classical theory, what the curve we are getting. So IS curve we are getting. When we are getting, or when we are using the Keynes theory, what curve we are getting. So we are getting the liquidity preference money supply curve. And when we have to combine both IS and LM curve, then we are getting the Hick-Hazen synthesis. Clear? So yes, this is the complete chapter for all of you. The most important thing related to the market rate of interest, right? Expect 2 to 3 questions from this particular chapter, because this is a very important chapter for you all. And in the exam cycle of October 2024, you will see that there was one question asked from this particular chapter. Okay. So everyone, I always recommend you that you have to suggest me some topics which you want me to explain to you, right? So just don't miss out this chance. Everyone, you have the comment box. I always read the comments of each and every one of you. So kindly, each and every one of you, just give me suggestions that what types of topics you want me to explain to all of you, right? So everyone, just please be very careful, and always remember that your suggestions are very important for us, right? Now, if you want to learn everything in detail size, so there is a JIB and CIB subscription in the Oliveboard app. Okay, so currently there is a flat 51% off discount going on these subscription. So you can just enroll yourself at a very good discounted price right now, because your exam is near. Your exam will start in May, right? So before that, we have a lot of plans. We are running the crash batch, then we are running with the MCQs batch, then I'm coming with the capsule batch for all of you. Then we have different marathon sessions planned for all of you, right? So this all you will get in the JIB and CIB subscription. So all you have to enroll here, and your enrollment currently is getting in flat 51% off. So avail this chance, and thank you so much everyone for joining this video. I hope that you have all enjoyed this video. Just please like and share the video to the maximum you can. And if you haven't subscribed this channel yet, is a request guys that please subscribe this channel and press the bell notification icon. Thank you. Take care. Have a very nice day.